Hi, Pocket. Hammer got some crazy changes in Title Update 2, gaining offset on 2 different moves and even an entirely new attack. Let's talk about it. For the gameplay I'm showing, I'm fighting a Tempered Chatacabra with an unupgraded Hope set and an unupgraded Hope Hammer. Before Title Update 2, Hammer only had one move that could offset, the Spinning Strong Upswing, the final move after enough rotations of the Spinning Bludgeon. Simply having an offset is a useful tool, I'm not going to sleep on that, but compared to other offsets, this one felt like it had the most required prep work. You have to start spinning well in advance, and you are allowed to hold the Spinning Strong Swing for a little before it's forced to swing, but getting to that point without having to respond to other things can be very tough, or even impossible when dealing with fast monsters. Title Update 2 added offset functionality to 2 other attacks though, and these ones take a lot less preparation. The Charged Upswing is my favorite move on Hammer, performed by reaching the 2nd charge level. This was always great for gap closing and reaching up high to a monster's chin. Now that this move can offset, it's even stronger. The other move that can offset is the Mighty Charged Upswing. This is done by going into a Mighty Charge, but not charging it all the way for the big finisher. This might seem more situational, but it actually ties in really well with the Charged Upswing. Let's say you want to offset the monster, so you start charging to try and get a Charged Upswing, but it doesn't attack in time, so you charged too far. You don't need to cancel that charge because you can still go into a Mighty Charge and offset it with a quick upswing. If we look at Hammer charges as a 5-step process, starting with the first charged side blow, up to the charged upswing, charged big bang, and then the mighty charged upswing and mighty charged slam, we have 2 offsets and 2 strong finisher attacks. Prior to Title Update 2, it felt kind of bad to me reaching the 3rd charge state, the one for the charged big bang. When I was playing Hammer, I'd want to prioritize spamming upswings for the most part. It was safer and felt a lot more mobile. But now, because of the mighty charged upswing being available as an offset, I feel much safer running around with a tier 3 charge because I have access to that defensive tool. With 3 different offset attacks, Hammer is feeling way safer to play aggressively with. As a successful offset, even if it doesn't trigger a follow-up, will often negate a lot of the damage you'll take. Speaking of follow-ups, that's the new Hammer move. A response following a successful offset stagger. The follow-up Spinslam. This has us grappling toward the monster and starting to spin before doing a big counterattack. What hunters might not realize is that if you don't press triangle right away to activate the follow-up, the hunter can do 5 spins for extra damage. Each little spin doesn't increase the damage of the finisher, but in my experience, it helps the hammer properly align with the monster sometimes if they're really far away or in a weird spot, so that when you do hit the finisher, all of those hits land. Also, if you happen to spin too many times, the finisher will get cancelled, so that's something to watch out for. Don't let it go 5 times. 4 is the sweet spot. Now that offsets are more abundant, this follow-up can be used to great effect and very often. It also allows the hammer to immediately go back into a mighty charge after, letting them unleash another quick offset if necessary, or a mighty charge slam. Another nice thing about these 2 upswing offsets compared to the previous single offset we had is how focus affects them. Focus is already a phenomenal weapon skill on Hammer, letting you charge quicker to get to those strong finishers. But because of these 2 additional offsets falling on the string of charged attacks that we have, Focus lets us get to any of these options even quicker. This is another reason the previous offset was so hard to land, as there weren't any ways to get to it quicker. It had to be done at the end of that spin, and that spin was always the same speed. This is one of my favorite things about little patches and changes, is sort of seeing the domino effect. Because 2 charge-related moves got buffed on Hammer, Focus is also receiving a bit of a specific buff for Hammer. It was already the king skill for this weapon in my opinion, but now it's even more valuable. I definitely felt it when I was recording this gameplay with the Chata. Not having focus can make it a lot more difficult to charge this stuff up all the time. Another very impactful change, though it might sneak by, is that the hammer charges much quicker if a charge sidestep follows a dodge. This seems like the fastest way to go from neutral to a charged upswing, so keep this in mind. Dodge, charge step combo gets you to a charged upswing so fast, and it is incredibly mobile. However, and important note about this, it takes a lot of stamina. The dodge itself takes a chunk, and then the charge step takes another chunk. And then after that, if you hold the charge, that drains a little. Because both of these big chunks are a fixed amount, however, the cost would be greatly mitigated by any points of constitution. If you haven't tried Hammer, it is a great time to get into swinging this thing around. It's tons of fun. And if you are a Hammer player already, please let me know how you're liking the buffs. To me, this really revolutionizes the weapon. They took my favorite attack already, the charged upswing, and turned it into an offset. What a dream. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to play more Hammer soon, as well as explore the other changes to the weapons. Title Update 2 was jam-packed with great additions. If there's anything you're excited about or found awesome, let me know. I love learning new things. Until next time, fellow hunters, good luck and goodbye.